Sometimes the problem isn't wrong decisions. Sometimes the problem is playing a life that isn't right very well. Dear strong mind, hear this sentence once more. Because this sentence isn't an observation, it's a mirror. And some mirrors don't show the face. They show life. If right now you're thinking, yes, but what am I doing wrong? Then that's exactly where we are. There is no name for this feeling. The feeling of living the wrong life catches you off guard because there is no obvious problem. You have a job, your days pass by, people think you're fine, but you can't settle into the life you're living. It's as if everything is temporary, as if the real life will begin soon. But that soon never comes. That's why this feeling is dangerous. Because you can't fight something you can't name. Why does Frankl take this situation seriously? Viktor Frankl says it's not pain that destroys a person. People can endure pain. They can endure poverty. They can endure loss. But they cannot endure this, feeling unnecessary in their own life. The feeling of a wrong life is when a person begins to feel unnecessary. It would be fine if I weren't here. And this feeling slowly pulls the person in from within. How does everyone get to this point? Because we all at some point chose to conform. Silently. We asked fewer questions. We objected less. We said, what do I want less? And we called this maturity. We called it realism. We called it life experience. But according to Frankl, sometimes this is just a fancy name for giving up on yourself. Why does guilt follow? When this feeling comes, guilt follows immediately. With all these opportunities I have, when others are content with this life, why can't I be satisfied? But dear strong mind, Frankl is very clear here. Meaning cannot be measured by comparison. A life that someone else can endure doesn't have to be right for you. And that doesn't make you selfish. It makes you honest. Let's take a closer look at the phrase, I could have been someone else. This phrase, it remains unfinished inside many people, because what comes next is frightening. I could have been someone else, but I wasn't. According to Frankl, this sentence is not regret. It is a reminder. What you remember is this. There is still a possibility speaking inside you. And that possibility does not want to be silenced. Why does not changing feel safer? Because change questions not only the future, but also the past. What if I've lived in vain? What if I've been lying to myself all these years? What if I'm not who I thought I was? Frankl says this. Sometimes it's not the truth that people can't bear. It's the consequences of the truth. That's why we stay in the familiar pain. The daily realities of the wrong life. The feeling of living the wrong life isn't dramatic. It hides more in places like these. Snoozing the morning alarm, constantly saying, I wish it were the weekend. Doing what you have to do and feeling nothing. Feeling distant even when talking about your own life. These are not laziness. These are not exhaustion either. These show that the distance between you and yourself has grown. Frankl's silent but harsh truth. Frankl doesn't promise you happiness. He doesn't promise comfort. He tells you this. Life expects something from you. And this expectation is not the same for everyone. Perhaps what is expected of you is not a great success. Perhaps it is just an honest change of direction. But once this call is heard, you can no longer live as before. Heroism really begins here. Heroism is not dramatizing life. Heroism is not breaking the agreement you have with yourself. According to Frankl, even if a person cannot choose their circumstances, they can choose their attitude. And sometimes that attitude is very quiet. I can't go on with this. When this sentence is spoken, life does not change immediately, but the direction changes, and that is enough. The comforting but responsible truth. Dear strong mind, you are not late. You have not wasted your time. You are not a bad person. You just lived your life through someone else's eyes for a while. And once you realize this, there is no turning back. Because once you realize this, you cannot continue in the same way. The final and silent closing. The feeling of a wrong life does not mean your life is wrong. This feeling is a sign that life has not given up on you. And perhaps today, for the first time, you can say to yourself, I am not a supporting character in this story. Dear strong mind, this video ends here. But your story wants to be itself from here on out. From Viktor Frankl. Life is telling you something. Dear strong mind, I want to start with a frequently but misunderstood quote from Viktor Frankl. Instead of asking what you expect from life, you should ask what life expects from you. This sentence is not a motivational quote. This sentence is a call to change direction. Because most of us live life asking this question. What will I get out of this life? Frankl, however, quietly asks, what does life want from you? And this question shakes a person to their core. According to Frankl, it is not pain that wears a person down. Frankl realized this in the concentration camp. It was not those who suffered the most, but those who lost the most meaning who collapsed. Hunger, cold, loneliness. These things challenge a person. But what tears a person apart is this. What I'm going through has no meaning. Dear strong mind, if you feel tired today and can't quite pinpoint the reason, it's not physical. It's a feeling of meaninglessness. The feeling that everything is there, but nothing is there. Frankl calls this existential emptiness. Does this sentence sound familiar to you? I have nothing to complain about, but I'm not happy either. This feeling is not spoiled. This is not ingratitude. This is your soul telling you, I was not created just to survive. Frankl says, if a person cannot find meaning, it is replaced by habits, addictions, constant busyness, and the person is busy, but does not live. Frankl's most important advice: focus on meaning, not on yourself. Viktor Frankl does not tell you, be happy, think positively, love yourself. He finds these superficial. His advice is this: don't look at yourself too much. Turn your eyes to something greater than yourself. Because when you constantly listen to yourself, the pain grows. But when you find a meaning greater than yourself, the pain shifts. It doesn't disappear, but it doesn't control you. What does Frankl say to those who say, I am not strong? According to Frankl, strength is not something you feel. Strength emerges through behavior. That's why he says, in every situation, a person can choose one thing: their attitude. You can't control everything, but you can control your current attitude. This doesn't make you strong, but it makes you free. And freedom, according to Frankl, is humanity's deepest need. Difficult question: is my current life waiting for me? Frankl suggests this. Look at your life from the outside, as if it weren't yours, and ask yourself this question: if my life were a task, would I be fulfilling that task right now? This question is uncomfortable, but it heals, because according to Frankl, people can live by deceiving themselves, but they cannot heal. Frankl's silent hope. Frankl never said, everything will be fine, but he did say, meaning is possible in every situation. This is a very powerful statement, because it does not give hope. It gives responsibility, and responsibility lifts a person up. Final advice, the most important. Viktor Frankl whispers this to you. Dear strong mind, life does not want you to be perfect. Life does not want you to be happy either. Life wants you to be honest. It wants you to look honestly at this question. Am I really living for this life, or just because I'm used to it? The answer may hurt, but that answer is your direction. If this video made you feel something, it's no coincidence. Maybe life is talking to you, and maybe for the first time, you're listening. Dear strong mind, in this story, you're not just a spectator. This story wants to continue with you.